Winston Select 100. Let's go trackside immediately. The pole sitter for the last 3 races has been relegated to 4th position for today's event, and standing by right now is Dick Bergen.
Well, Sherry Minter, it's Randy down here with Sherry Minter. She'll start 4th tonight, Ken Squire, and that's unusual for her because she's won 3 pole positions in a row here at Charlotte. And incidentally, she's been working on her short track game at some short track speedways. Has it helped you a little bit?
I certainly do feel like it has. My confidence level as far as during our practice sessions has definitely increased. As far as running in traffic, I think I'll be able to improve from my past performances. We weren't able to get the pole, but you can't get the pole all the time. So Wally did a great job with that, and we're just going to run the best we can and see how it turns out.
Practicing during the day, does that affect you running at night now?
Well, not really. We've ran here at night before, so we pretty much know how to set the car up for nighttime.
Okay, that's Sherry Minter. She'll start 4th. A guy that's starting on the pole tonight, standing by with Dick Bergman. Dick?
And Wally Fowler has never won a race here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. He has never started on the pole at Charlotte Motor Speedway, but he's broken the track record by some 3 miles an hour, and all the guys behind you say you're the man to beat. So how are you going to do this to make sure that their prediction holds up?
Well, I just hope we have a good, safe race and basically to stay out of trouble and try not to run no harder than they make me run if I'm lucky enough to be able to do that.
You're going to run the race in your rearview mirror somewhat?
Well, you never know. You know, we're starting at night on a new surface. It's awful fast. There's a lot of prediction about how to set the car up. So I hope I'm able to, but, you know, that's the driver's dream, but you never know.
A lot of uncertainty down here on pit road. To call the action tonight, the voice of American stock car racing, Ken Squire.
159.170 is what Fowler clipped off around this 1.5-mile track to get himself up in front of the field, in front of a tremendous throng. Looks about 50,000 folks have gathered here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway to enjoy this race and all the activities that make Charlotte so special. Along with us tonight is Chuck Bound, a guy who's done all kinds of racing all over the United States, former Grand National champion, champion in New England, champion out in the Northwest. What about this division? Never saw you run one of these.
Well, Ken, I tell you, I'm glad they run this race at night. If they run this race during the light of day, I don't think I could help you up here because I couldn't watch the race because these guys scare the daylights right out of me.
Yeah, there are a lot of new folks out here giving you the go, and some of the lines they run are a little unique, aren't they?
Well, it's a fast racetrack, and, you know, this is a way to break into high-bank, fast super speedway racing with a little bit of experience and without mortgaging your whole house. So, you know, there's a lot of guys out here that don't have a lot of experience, and it shows up sometimes in the races.
To the point where now on restarts, they don't double them up at all. It's a single file restart whenever they get into one of those situations, and get into those situations they do on this 1.5-mile track. And we have a brand new racetrack for them to participate on. This 1.5-mile's been totally repaved. What's that going to do to them?
Well, it'll just make it a little faster, make them a little braver, I think. That new asphalt feels good compared to the old bumps and old asphalt that they're used to here at Charlotte.
Let's go to Dick Berger.
Well, Ken, so far this series has run 5 times in 1994. Marty Ward has won 3 of those races. Starting on the outside pole, what's the game plan tonight besides just get it into victory lane, Marty?
Well, this Hooter Chevrolet has been running real good all day, so like I say, we'll just have to hang on here and hope we got the right setup to be under the lights tonight.
How are you going to handle Fowler?
Well, I'm going to try to just hook in here and draft with him, and if got a chance to go, we'll go. If we don't, we'll just draft with him, hang on, hope for the best.
It's Marty Ward, Randy Pemberton.
Well, Gary Layton is going to start 4th. He brushed the wall in practice yesterday after somebody blew a motor in front of him, but they got the car together. He's back out here, and he's getting ready to make a few trips around this track. I know you've only run this track 4 times, but you just told me you finished 4th here the last time here. Got to make you confident.
Yeah, it sure does. Every little bit of experience you can get helps, and hopefully we can keep the Greystone Farms, Carolina Culture Marble, Carson Trailers, Chevrolet Monte Carlo up front tonight. And had a little handling problem in practice today, but hopefully got all the bugs worked out of that.
Okay, good luck, Gary.
I appreciate it.
Well, Gary Layton has learned the biggest lesson of racing. He got every single sponsor in his first shot. Congratulations to him. The Winston Select 100 coming up next on Prime Speedway. And let's go down and meet another of the starting field tonight. David Smith is standing by with Dick Berggren.
Well, I've got Scott Kilby, actually, Ken. He's starting in the 6th position outside of the 3rd row, and he's got some pretty good experience here. And, Scott, this division, this racetrack, have a reputation for being very, very rough. Lots of crashes, cars bouncing off each other, bouncing off the walls. Is the reputation deserved?
Yeah, I guess so, pretty much so. You know, they've been some pretty bad wrecks in these divisions, but, you know, NASCAR stepped in and tried to put a few more qualifications on the drivers out here, and everybody does a pretty good job anymore, so we'll do our best to try to keep Rocky Mountain Forest Products and Art and Herman windows on the side of this thing and not scrape it off on the wall.
Well, let's try again here. Is there we heard there was a David Smith down there to be interviewed. Does anyone have a David Smith?
Ken, certainly do. I've got one that starts 30th here today. David, you're getting ready to fire the engines. I understand there's another David Smith starting 26, driving a car you formerly drove, or vice versa.
Yeah, it's the car I won here last year in May, and we got a good car here tonight. We had a bad lap qualifying, but we're looking forward to a good run, just staying out of trouble. Say hi to the wife and the kids at home.
David Smith in 22nd and David Smith in 26th. We'll be back to meet the starting lineup. It looks like the Smith brothers cough drops out here tonight. There'll be some wild action before it's just so we're back once more for this Winston Select 100. Now, most of these cars were at one time a Winston Cup car, and over the years, of course, they change, and this is an opportunity for a lot of those Winston Cup teams to find new homes for some of those cars, give them a chance to get out here and run again. We've seen them in different colors over many past years.
That's true, and not only the cars themselves, the chassis and the roll cages, but a lot of parts, brake components, axles, rear end housings, drive shafts, just so much accumulation that Winston Cup teams get. It's just nice to have an outlet. It helps these guys learn how to race, and it helps the other team clean their shells out a little bit.
Okay, let's take a look at the starting lineup on this event. In the starting grid, Wally Fowler, the Flounder Chevrolet, starts up in front. Marty Ward, key player, will start in second. Then it's that Gary Layton that you met, starting third. And Sherry Minter, number 61, will be one to follow. David Owens is going to be starting in fifth in this lineup. Looking a little further back, there you have Scott Kilby and Red Everett. He could be a real factor before it's over. Curtis Miller is in there, and Lester Lesniewski, and Mickey Galt starts in the 10th position. Further back, you have Jerry Rector, who we've seen run up in front of some of these events. And Jeff Liminen is next in 12th, followed by Russell Phillips, Steve Howard, Paul Shaver in car number 43. In the 16th position, it's Tim Neighbors with Steve Clark starting 17th, and Don Satterfield in that number 1. That used to be the Setzer car. And Shot Howard's back in 01, and Tom Sherrill in the number 20. Going to the 21st position, Steve Knipe is there with Joe Galta, and then you see Mickey Hudspeth. Now, he could come along. He didn't qualify well, but he can really run. And Bubba Urban has run up in front of these events. He's way back in 24th, followed with Claude Harp in there at 25th. They're going to take an extra lap before they turn them loose. David Smith is 26th, Russ Galindo 27th. Then comes Steve Gross, and right along there is Casera, Vic Casera in the 29th position. David Smith. Certainly have enough Smiths out here tonight. 31st is Andy Thurman. R.C. Hickson is 32nd. And James Lamoureux is in 33rd. Robin Caldwell and Don Wagner. As we look back into the tail end of this field, there's Fred Costanza, number 31. Andy Stone, Robert Booten, Ronald Grinstaff, and then rounding out the field is Stuart Ramser in the shotgun position. 40 strong, ready to roll. They gave them an extra lap. A few had a little problem getting them cranked up tonight. Take a look at this track over which they're running. 24-degree turns, 5 degrees, and that main straightaway in the tri-oval. That backstretch, 1,360 feet. That'll test their mettle. They want to leave their foot down all the way into 3 as we get ready for a go.
And this Sportsman Division is getting an opportunity to kind of christen Humpy Wheeler's brand new asphalt. You know, it looks clean and pretty looking at it right now, but I think we're going to see some black skid marks going up to the walls here after a little while. I hope not, but
it just seems gouges.
It just needs to happen, you know, somewhat when you get out there and race cars. You know what I mean?
So here's Wally Fowler bringing the Flounder Chevrolet around. What a great name for a sponsor, huh? That's right in there. Great title.
this asphalt enabled the Sportsman cars to pick their track record up by 3 miles an hour, the pole sitter tonight. So it'll be a little bit faster race than we've ever seen with the Sportsman cars here at Charlotte tonight.
I wish the Rumpel Furniture folks, remember those folks up in Elkin, North Carolina?
Sure do.
Used to back JD, great people. They named your car. You had a Flounder and a Rumpel. Some great names in this division. Some great races for the future, perhaps, in this show tonight. Stay with us, and I must say this Sherry Minter has done some fine racing out here. We'll be watching her in number 61 from 4th. Here's Dick Burke.
Well, Ken, you were so right when you said this division is a division for racers of the future. One of the things NASCAR has tried very hard to do is to create a division that is relatively inexpensive, but in which drivers can get super speedway experience in cars that are like Busch National cars and Winston Cup cars. And this is just exactly it. So they're running on very hard tires. They're running in low compression engines with only 2-barrel carburetors, and those engines are very severely restricted. They run wide open all the way around almost all the time. However, the drivers also say it is a thrill a minute. Randy Pemberton.
Well, speaking about the tires, Dick, which you mentioned, they're about $1,200 a set in a Winston Cup car. These cars you'll see in the pits down here, they will have about 1 set of tires. They are not allowed to change tires under caution. They can change them under green. They can only change them under caution if they flat spot them. So we're getting ready to go green here, Ken Squire.
All right, pace car ready to bring them down and roll them out.
And just like the restarts, we'll see a single file start for the actual race itself, too. No double file starts at all tonight.
Down to the line comes Wally Fowler, Marty Ward in a red car just behind them. And on the brake, Sherry Minter's the one that looks to the high side immediately in number 61. That's the one of the green nose as they head into turn number 1.
Didn't take them long to get 2 and 3 wide back in the back when they dropped that green flag.
Front 3 trying to break away. That's Fowler, Ward, and Gary Layton in the 74. There's that front trio. Then Minter comes next. Getting up to speed for the first time in sportsman competition. Wally Fowler in front. Out to the outside, Layton in the yellow, number 74, takes a look. Gonna come up and try for second.
He's holding out there pretty good. He's giving a challenge to that second position. Looks like he's going to get it. Take a look for first.
He's rolling. Comes after Fowler. Minter lies in 4th.
Gary Layton on the move.
They black flag Jeff Nimblin on the start of the 44. He said he jumped a little too quick off that line. Sherry Minter closes up on the front 3. And the 88, David Owens, the SoCal Oldsmobile, has about 15 car lengths between himself and 5th in those front 4.
These single file restarts pay off. We've run 2 laps and it's been very, very clean so far. I'm real glad to see that.
Gary Layton took a look on the inside, and Fowler drove away from him by about a car length. Front 3 coming around to complete lap number 3.
Those first 3 are in a pretty tight draft. We'll have to wait and see when the tires get good and hot and see who has what, see if one of them's handling better than another. But if they really can run wide open all night long, they might stay like that all night long, just all bunched up.
The 88 of Owens. Black car is pulled up from 5th into 4th as they head down the back straightaway. Jeff Niemann brings the 44 on pit road and back out for that stop and go penalty for jumping the start. There he is. Brought in, held, then they'll turn him loose. That's the story on him, and that'll cost him a lap. Battle for second place right here. Added another time. There you see Marty Ward in the red number 97 down on the inside. Gary Layton, that Chevrolet up on the outside. A couple of Chevys at him.
That enabled the leader to pull away just a couple of car lengths, but I think they'll catch right back up now that they're no longer side by side.
Pretty good battle back here in 6th position. Take a look at this one as Gary Red Everett in Alan Funk's Wallpaper Chevrolet. That's the number 60. Under a lot of pressure coming off turn 4. 3-car battle there. The 98 staying right with him is Lester Nesneski in the Mark III Financial Chevrolet.
Mike Galt right behind him, I think, trying to decide which one to draft off of.
Which one to go by, too. He's got him on the outside, Chuck. Thank you. I'll take that one. Lesneski slipping back. Red Everett just in front of them. That's 6th, 7th, and 8th out there. And here are your leaders with Fowler in first. Ward and Layton continuing their battle here in the nighttime at Charlotte. To lap 8, and then when they decided to have a caution, they had it on both ends of the speedway. Here's the 62 coming in. That's in turn 4. We've also had 07 Andy Stone all torn up, and this is the car that took the abuse with his machine. That's the 31 or 37 car, and it's 37 that was involved. Steve Gross had spun, and he got tagged by the 07 of Andy Stone, the promoter over at Oglethorpe Speedway.
Okay, he's just down on the apron there. I don't know if those two cars were side by side earlier or not, but 37 got clear down on the apron, and that doesn't work. When you get below that white line, it flattens out, the banking goes away, and it just upsets the car big time. Now he's doing a good job keeping it down. I'll have to watch the seat. Okay, one car tried to sneak by on the inside and just couldn't quite find enough room.
That was Andy Stone. He's run some ARCA races. In fact, back in the 80s, he was down there in Daytona and got a pretty good finishing position. But boy, that car got torn up. That's Andy Stone's car right there, the 07, and the Steve Gross of Westchester, Pennsylvania was the other car involved in that altercation. At the other end of the track, when they threw the caution, we had a separate situation. Here again, take a look at Gross, and then Andy Stone is about to enter the picture in the 07.
It looked like he was going to be able to get by on the inside, but then the yellow car finally started coming back down the banking, and then skinned the right side right off of that 07 car.
That 37 car was sponsored by Lacey Collision. And here's the second spin. Top of the screen.
While all that was happening, at the same time in turn 4. Can't really see what caused it. It looks like just a one-car spin, and I don't believe he hit any walls.
I think that was Mickey Hudspeth's car that got looped around out there. Here's David Owens, 88, coming in the ProCal car. Been running up there in 4th position. Front 3 are okay. Caution on both ends of the racetrack here in the Winston Select 100 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. 10 of 67 laps are complete, and they're picking up the cars from a collision in turn 2. So we're still a couple of laps away from getting this race back under green. Here you see Wally Fowler, the leader in car number 4. He's had that Chevy up in front. He took off from the pole, where he sat at 157 miles an hour. Wally Fowler went up to Pocono and won a couple of races this year. Well, he won a couple of races on the track, and then he lost them in the garage area when the race was over. That's happened to a few people over the years. Why were you disqualified at Pocono, Wally?
We had illegal heads, so they tell me. I didn't have any idea, but that's what NASCAR says. Anyway, we've got a new set of heads on. They inspected them before we put the motor together this time, and as far as I know, they're ready.
Well, he looked believable to me, Ken. What do you think?
Oh, every driver always looks believable. You mean to tell me that carburetor? I can't believe that. What? Huh?
No way.
Over by how much? Here's Dick Berg.
Ken Squire. David Owens had a good run going for him this evening. He had qualified 5th, was running right up in there. But while we were away at break, Owens had to come in and make a pit stop. Why? A fuel line loosened between the fuel cell and the engine. Look at the fancy tool they fixed that with, but it's all fixed. He's running dead last now, but they got her fixed.
Where's the sledgehammer?
Alabama tractor wrench.
There you go. We'll be back with more of the Winston Select 100 in a moment. 12 of 67 laps complete as we're ready to resume this Winston Select 100 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Wally Fowler leading the field down and taking green. Getting this back underway. Apparently all the drivers were okay after those altercations from turns 2 and 4. We're back to racing. Fowler in front, Ward in second, Layton in third. They're getting 3 wide, a little further back.
Oh, all the way through the corner.
Oh.
Finally, that car 3rd deep on the outside wisely decided to let off.
Yeah, you don't want to stay out there too long, do you?
No, not when you're up in that gray part of that racetrack. Although we might see some 3-wide running here before this one's over.
Well, there's the trio out in front. Fowler, Layton in the yellow car, Ward in the 97. And here comes Minter.
Taking a look. He's in the grass a little. I think they almost touched there, but I believe he's going to get the lead.
Layton started third, up into the lead. Squaring things off on the bottom and trying to move through is Marty Ward in the Hooters Chevy. And Sherry Minter wisely sits back about 6 car lengths and watches the skirmish.
They're still side by side for second.
And as they come around, Minter stays in fourth. Scott Kilby now to fifth. Jerry Rector to sixth. Red Everett to seventh. Lester Lesneski follows next. He's in that seventh spot. In eighth spot. Then Stephen Howard in ninth. And Mike Galt is in 10th. Ooh, that 60 got hit and almost lost control. Picks it back up. Keeps rolling along. Red Everett. He was in trouble for a moment. 98 backing up here.
With Lester Lesneski. I believe he's having some trouble.
Take a look at what happened here.
Okay. He maybe has cut the right front tire down. They definitely had some contact there. Luckily, the 60 car maintained control and kept it going straight. But
Red Everett.
The Red Everett car, he is off the pace.
So, for the lead, coming by, the 74 stays in front. Gary Layton in the lead. Fowler in second. Ward to third. And Sherry Minter. Dad was a pretty good racer back a few years in fourth spot. Some good Grand National racing. In the fifth position, you see the number 30, Scott Kilby.
Those first 3 cars are still running awful close together, but a little different order than before the caution. That 74 car seems to be pretty strong on the restarts with cold tires. At the initial start of the race, it looked like he was going to go up and take the lead. Didn't quite get there, and now he has on this restart after the caution period. But I think they're coming back to challenge him.
Yeah, here's Fowler dropping to the inside. 18 laps now complete. There's that front three. Minter stays right there. In fourth. Just behind this good battle for the lead. Scott Kilby stays fifth. Richter sixth. Red Everett seventh. I'll take a look a little further back. That one car, that's Satterfield. And he's in there battling with the number 22 of Stephen Howard. So call that a battle for 7th position out there. 8th position. Howard is in 8th, but here comes Satterfield on the inside of the 1 for 8th. Don Satterfield had some experience in Winston Cup at one time and has intentions of giving himself some Bush Series rides next year. Martin Buxton owns that car. Take a look at this one. There's the 17 and the 22 having a good go at the present time. That's golf.
They're going at it.
Howard.
And that's for about the 9th or 10th position there. So they're not too far behind. They're racing for it. They've got more company behind them.
Take a look at the lead.
Number 4 got a good run at him coming off the second turn. I think he's going to make it pay.
Trying to make it stick. Fowler. And does so. Gets that lead back.
Drives it in hard and slides it up in front of him.
21 down this time by. Wally Fowler stays up in front. Had the lead from the start. Relinquished it on lap 16. Gets himself back in front. Car number 40, Mickey Hudspeth on pit road and back out again. Here's the story for the moment. That's 74. What a run Gary Layton made early on. North Carolina racer. Staying right there, hanging on to the leader. There's the front 4. with Fowler, Layton, Ward, and Jerry Minter in those positions. More from this Winston Select 100 after these messages. The 25th lap of the Winston Select 100 at Charlotte. It's Fowler out in front and Layton in second place. And look at Satterfield, who started 18th, coming up to 7th as he splits them. He goes under Red Everett in 7th. Here he comes after Jerry Rector's car, now up to the 6th position. That number 1 is flying from 18th at the outset.
He had it wiggling down there a little bit too, but it didn't slow him up a bit. He just kept the gas down, kept digging.
There you see Satterfield continuing to roll through. He's ready to challenge the 81. Leaders coming by. 67 laps the distance in this sportsman competition. Had 1 caution thus far, so it holds the average speed down to 103, 104 miles per hour. But it's Fowler and Layton and Satterfield moving at the present time. Satterfield looks to be the fastest car on the track, but he needs a caution because those front cars have broken away. Here's Satterfield working on Jerry Rector in the 81 another time. Jerry Rector, a fountain in South Carolina. And there's the number 60 for the moment. That's
Red Everett.
Red Everett.
He had a problem, we thought, right in the early part of the race, but it looks like he's okay, or he made a pit stop and fixed it under that last caution. I'm not sure, but he seems to be running quite well now.
Well, whatever problem he had earlier in the race, it was nothing like the problem he had the last time he raced here. In the spring, Red Everett, 56 years old, got sideways coming off the 4th corner and got drilled by Ronnie Sewell in the side of the car at 150 miles an hour. Everett's car spun repeatedly, caught fire. They cut him out of the car. Red Everett said, "I'll be back." He is back with a brand new car, running in 8th position tonight.
Running right there with Satterfield. The 1 car Satterfield, that red car on the outside, he gets it back again. Satterfield trying to close in on Jerry Rector. Take a look up here. Now you're following Sherry Minter. Minter in the 61. She's in 3rd spot.
She has taken the 3rd spot away from the pink car that's right behind her there.
That's right, and that would be Marty Ward. And following that is the 30 of Kilby. She's away. She's trying to move up through, but
she's trying to hold her own with those 2 leaders there. But I tell you, they're setting a pretty good pace, and they are starting to separate themselves from the field. I'm talking about Gary Layton, our leader, Wally Fowler.
So Fowler and Layton stay up in front. Now take a look here as the 60 car shoots down the inside of the 30 car under the 97. And that 30 is Scott Kilby working on Ward. Ward seems to have a problem. He keeps fading up the track. We saw Sherry Minter make a move on the inside and get through, and now you're watching the same thing happen with Scott Kilby in that number 30. 30 laps are now complete. Scott Kilby in car number 30 takes over in 4th. How difficult is it to pass another car in this division here at Charlotte? Scott Kilby.
It's pretty tough. You know, all these cars are limited real bad on motor and carburetor, so you really got to get a run on somebody to make sure you pass them or get some help. And there's several occasions where you'll pull out and just get up beside them, get door handle with them, and that's it. That's as far as you can go. So it's pretty tough, but you know, if you got a little bit of help and don't make too many enemies out there, usually you can get by them.
He hasn't made any enemies at all, and I think he's impressing a lot of folks with his performance right now. Scott Kilby in his Chevrolet moving in on Sherry Minter. There you see her in the 61 just in front of him. Back across the line, completing their 32nd lap. Only 1 caution to date. There are the leaders. Wally Fowler in 1st. Gary Layton is in 2nd. And then it's an interval of several hundred feet back to Sherry Minter in 3rd. More of the Winston Select 100 in a moment. Way as Wally Fowler out of Campobello, South Carolina, continues to lead in the Winston Select 100 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. With Chuck Bound, I'm Ken Squire. We're taking a look at the interval right now between 1st and 2nd. That's Fowler back to the yellow, number 74 of Layton. And now back to Minter in third, the number 6 coming up here. There's your third place car just coming in, Sherry Minter. And
those first two cars have been about that tight pretty much the whole race long, where Sherry's starting to get all that she wants of Scott Kilby. He's kind of catching her a little bit, I think.
5 2/10 seconds between those first two cars and this number 61 Minter.
Boy, they're coming up on heavy traffic, too. Decision time.
Yeah, somebody just jumped out in front of her, and she tried to go up the outside.
Want to be patient, but not too patient.
Well, you see 30 pulling up on 61. Here's Kilby coming up on Minter. They've got lap cars just in front of them running side by side.
He's right there waiting for her to make a mistake. She's trying to be patient but get on by there without giving up third position.
Gets around the outside. Good move by Minter. And you see the 97. That's Marty Ward, the red car on the end of that trio.
Now they've got some clear racetrack in front of them. Clear to the leaders actually right now, but there'll be some more lap cars coming up in a little while.
Ward's back in 5th spot. He started outside, or not outside, 2nd spot. It would have been outside under the usual conditions, but it was a single file start. That seems to be a good idea with a new division like this. You ever run any races where they started everything single file, Chuck?
Not that I recall. I've done some racing where restarts were single file, but not the initial start of the race. I don't think I've ever done that in the 23 years I've been at it.
Well, it seems like a good idea with these folks that just don't have that much super speedway experience.
I think so.
All clustered up and get those 8 and 9 car tangles.
I remember years ago at Ontario Motor Speedway, we started them 3 abreast, just like they did the Indy cars at Indianapolis.
In the stocks.
Yeah.
Let's go to Dick Burke.
I'm with Lawrence Ledford. He is the crew chief for 97. Marty Ward, who started second, is slipping back. What's the problem with the car?
The car's gotten real loose lately, and we're just trying to decide whether to come in and put some bite in it. We're 2/3 of the way through this thing. We might try to hold on.
Okay, if you get a caution flag, you're going to come in?
We may come in.
Okay, decision time down here with car 97.
For number 4, Wally Fowler made the right decision. The leader looks like he's on a rail, running just as well as he did up at Pocono. Let's hope the heads are okay tonight when they get this race over, huh, Chuck?
I'll really be surprised if they're not, because he knows what happens if they're not right.
Now, how many times in your career did they tear your car down?
Well, they've torn it down a few times, but I can only recall once of being disqualified many years ago.
Yeah? And it wasn't your
I
fault.
didn't know a thing about it.
Didn't know a thing about it.
I just drove. I didn't know a thing about it.
Right. Who owned the car?
Your father. Oh, we got trouble down here.
Big crash coming out of turn number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Automobiles spinning and crashing. There's the 22 catching the wall just at the end. Steve Howard at lap 41. Caution is back on the track. It looks like everybody stayed on full wheels. A lot of evasive action, a lot of smoke. There's that 22 up against the wall. Greer, North Carolina's Howard.
Red Everett's bad luck continued. He got involved. He's driving around the racetrack, but the front end's pushed in quite a bit.
There's the 17 rolling back. That's Mike Gauld out of Gaffney, South Carolina. So a lot of cars chewed up in this one.
But the good thing is, I think every one of the cars is driven away at some capacity.
Ooh. Well, that one isn't going to drive too much further. There's your 60. That was a runner that has been putting on a good show all night, Red Everett, and as Chuck told you, he really took the heavy part of that crash.
Let's take a look here, Ken, see what happened. They're in 3 and 4. Okay, the red car just starts to spin.
Satterfield.
Okay, the next guy in front of him goes around too, so you have 2 cars spinning simultaneously, and then nobody can just find the hole there. They're all scrambling, trying to get through it, and they just can't find a way through it.
That could have been a lot worse.
I'm wondering if the track wasn't slick up there, or if maybe somebody lost some fluid or something, because the second car that spun was actually in front of the first car that spun. He should have been out of harm's way and everything fine, but he just kind of went around too. I wonder if there wasn't something up there.
Well, we'll take a look here in just a moment. The 22 is still resting up against the wall. We'll take a break for a commercial, then come back with 42 laps complete. Red Everett's car is in, badly thrashed on the right side. So, Caution out, second time tonight, accident in turn 4. We'll have more on the story in just a moment. Bunch is at it, taking a look at some of the cars involved in a 5-6 car altercation. That's Mike Galt's number 17 being worked on. The Satterfield number 1 was caught up in it. The number 60 Red Everett's car took a lot of abuse, and here's what it looked like again. Satterfield, the red car that's up in front.
Yeah, he just starts to, just gets away from him, and then right away the other car goes too. Maybe he got up a little high into the slick part of the track. But I'll tell you, even though these drivers are pretty inexperienced for these speeds in this racetrack, under those circumstances, it's hard for anybody to get through there. When you have 2 cars spinning in front of you and taking up the whole racetrack and you're that close, it's just awful. It takes a little luck to sometimes find a hole and get through that unscathed. So at least I don't think anybody had any real hard impacts. It was a pretty soft crash for a multi-car crash.
Take a listen to what this thing sounded like.
Squealing tires and a little bit of wrinkling metal.
Who said a squealing tire was a happy tire? You know, so many times when you race at night, the lighting is such, you come up on stuff like that and you're into it. But the lighting here is so good. But how about all that smoking that's out there? Would that have any bearing at all on what happened to those folks?
Well, you know, when the cars start going around and those tires light up like that, you really can't see. Whether it's day or night with real good lighting, you're pretty much blinded. So your spotter can sometimes, if he's up high enough, he can see down through the smoke and help you out. Look at all the black marks on the new asphalt there. It looks like a lot of scribbling there.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of invoices sent to a lot of drivers to replace some grass here in the infield by H.A. Humpy Wheeler, president of Charlotte Motor Speedway. Flap, take another look at this, and one of the things that impressed me here about this was that they didn't get so hard on the binders that a lot of them got collected from the rear. They've been taking some good advice out here. There's the track almost completely blocked, and they're looking for places to go. You see a few of them spinning, which they had to do. But a lot of times it's those guys that really hit the brakes hard and get drop-kicked and shot up the track into the wall that get in awful trouble in these things and get hurt and lose race cars.
And the more I see this replay, I just kind of think the second car to spin just went a little high to avoid the first spinning car, got in the loose stuff, and just went around. I think the track was clean up there. It was just a racing accident that happens.
Mike Galt, you can see the squiggles down out of that corner. They really used up some rubber here in turn 4 on that one. We can get more from Randy Pemberton on car number 17 Galt.
Well, all kinds of problems on the 17 car. You guys did get in that wreck, got collected, and all of a sudden you came in and changed some tires. What happened? You've been in and out at least twice.
Well, the car's been running pretty warm all night. And he tried to back off from the crowd, you know, and get the car to cool down. But it kept running hot, and then he had to miss that wreck up there, you know, come through the grass, and we changed the tires. And then we run over to air hose, so we had to stop and go penalty. So he's just going out there, going to cool the car off for a lap, and we're going to bring it on in. Maybe we can do better Saturday.
Okay, good luck Saturday.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's another thing about this division. They get themselves a lot of racing when they come to Charlotte. It's not just one event. They get a fair amount of time out here on the track to get some experience, and they get some real racing. And that vehicle on the inside is not one of the entries. Comes the ungodly speed of over 4 miles an hour, going to lap down.
The high-pressure blower, cleaning the racetrack. Does a good job.
Does a great job. Here's Dick Burke.
Well, I'm with Tim Neighbors, who was part of that big crash. What did it look like to you? What happened?
Well, we had a car get down the apron coming off turn 4, and it just got down too low, and we was all right there together, and it just made a chain reaction, you know, and everybody checked up, and just won't know where to go.
Tough crash?
Yeah, no, well, end of the night. But I'd like to thank Big Walker Tree Farms and Ron Walker Trucking for coming aboard this race and helping us out. You know, we want to make enough to pay some bills.
A lot of other guys here, they're going to have a lot of bills to pay. This garage area is full of wreckage.
Now, there you see, that's the former champion down there, a former competitor at the Fayetteville, North Carolina Speedway. He knows what makes the wheels turn. He got that forestry group in there. Good job. So there's the repair work continuing on what, car 62? that Ronald Grinstaff's car?
They're probably just trying to get
there
it
you see the
put
60.
back in the
That
truck.
one is Red Everett's car, all torn up in the front, badly abused. Ida Grinstaff was the crew chief on that car number 62, his wife. Family race.
One to go.
You see the running order down through the field, all the way through the field. Now, you come out of a racing family. Your wife was a racer. Was she ever your crew chief? You ever let Debbie be your crew chief?
No, she never did crew chief for me. She wasn't too crazy about wrenches, but I tell you, she was a spotter for me many times. In fact, a lot of wins. She did her little part up on top, me and my second pair of eyes. She's a very good spotter.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, now we have her spotting for us. Yeah, we heard that your wife spotted for at least 10 of your victories.
Yeah, she did. All of the Busch Series. You know, years ago she didn't spot that much, but about the last 5 or 6 years, she started doing it a lot. She helped me get to 10 of those Busch Grand National victories. She's the best.
I think most of us agree to that. I think she's just the best when it comes to spotting. I've liked her for many, many years.
Well, we're coming down to a sprint here, I guess. We've got about 19 laps to go. Single file restart. Fowler, Layton, Minter.
Coming down for start. And on this start, Minter is back in the hunt.
She got a good jump at the drop of the green, but she was not able to stay out there in the first turn. She had to tuck it in line into the third position.
White number 4, Fowler stays in front. Layton's number 74 is there in second. Sherry Minter comes to third. And Ward kind of cut his way through the field in fourth, and he's there. Down to the end of this one.
Layton in the yellow car has been pretty strong on these restarts. Let's see if those tires cooling down might give him an edge again.
See that white blue numeral number 18 there? That's that David Smith. One of the two David Smiths out here. He's come from 30th up to 8th tonight. Good run for David Smith. There it is right there. David Smith into 8th, looking for Jerry Rector in 7th position, just in front of him. Done some good racing. Meanwhile, back with the leaders, 74 of Gary Layton. Started to make the move on Fowler. He got it down on the inside. Looked like he pinched the car a bit. Falls back about 2 car lengths. Minton stays third. The red car of Marty Ward stays fourth. But here comes number 98 rolling up through Lester Lesniewski from Porterville, California. Getting into that one. Remember, he had a close call earlier in this race. 52 laps now complete. Lesniewski rolling here at the finish. He gets Marty Ward's 97, bags him, and now goes looking for the third place car, Sherry Minter. 2 leaders still, Wally Fowler and Gary Layton, staying first and second as they have through the majority of the laps.
Marty Ward there in the 5th position. He was playing a little bit loose earlier. I guess he's decided to ride it out. Track position is just too valuable to come in and adjust the chassis.
Wally Fowler with a 3-4 car length advantage. And take a look at this action further back.
Well, they're racing in that back.
At 01. That's Shot Howard back there with Claude Harpal over in 17.
Oh, they're 3 wide for a second.
Yeah.
All's well and good. They made it.
See a cluster of cars like that, I don't know if you should watch or cover your eyes. Back with the leaders. And Fowler is trying to draw away. Here comes Lesniewski in the 98 after Minter for third. There are your 2 leaders. And now pulling up Sherry Minter in third, and coming right with her, Lester Lesniewski.
Well, we're having a challenge there for that third position, it looks like.
Good race.
He's pretty much right on.
Cool customer, this Minter. Lesniewski missed the bullet a little earlier. David duck that one. Let's see what happens here as he works on Sherry Minter for third position. Marty Ward is behind him. Then the 30 of Scott Kilby is in 6th. Jerry Rector 7th. David Owens is now 8th. And David Smith at number 18 falls to 9th. Here's Lesneski. Throws it to the outside there.
Yeah, they're running a little bit different lines coming off the second turn. Sherry's keeping her car kind of down low. And fourth place Lesneski there. He's using every bit of the racetrack. He's throwing little sparks too in the fourth turn there.
Showing 55 of the 67 laps complete. Here's the squabble. It's for third. Sherry Minter set on the pole for 3 straight Sportsman races here. She went out and duked it out through most of them. 10 laps to go, this time by for Wally Fowler and Gary Layton up in front.
Well, I'm sure they're doing all they can do right now. This is it. It's showtime.
Yep, and Lesneski tried that low line and fades it up on the outside of 4 as he tries to cut the distance between himself and Minter.
That asphalt is so grippy, that new surface on this racetrack, and with the engine rules as they are, with the compression rules, the 2-barrel carburetor and so forth, the horsepower is just not really high enough. And it's got to be a little bit frustrating to maybe be a little stronger to the corner, but losing it down the straightaway or not being able to take advantage of the straightaways.
This is where you really want to feather him, isn't it? When you're using up these corners like this.
And you draft all you can, too, to try to turn that 400 horsepower or 350 or whatever they have, try to get all the advantage you can get.
Fowler and Layton, they've got some separation, but here's your scramble. Sherry Minter stays right there in the 61 car in third spot. A lot of pressure being exerted. Sherry Minter out of Martinsville, Virginia. California driver right behind her. The Kerr Drugstore, number 61. Looks like a Kerr here. It looks like a real pedigree beast that comes out of turn number 4.
He hasn't been able to rattle her any yet. She's just running a smooth, steady, consistent line.
And there you see just in front of them those 2 leaders. They're having their own little tiff. And at the present time, Wally Fowler has the better of it. Looks like Layton, he backed off a little on that hard rubber. Can he cool those tires enough to get a shot, Chuck?
Well, if they're having to lift much in the corners, then yeah, that's a possibility. But if they're running wide open anyway, then no. It did look like he closed up there for a couple laps. I don't know if the leader slipped and given the opportunity to catch up, or if the second place car, Layton, had a little bit more. I would think if he had anything more, he'd be using it right now.
Now, here's 98 Lesneski back after Minter another time. 60 laps complete of 67. This is the race of the night for the moment. California's Lester Lesneski fades to the outside another time. Holds up on Sherry Minter. Minter driving her own race and not getting intimidated by all of this. Now Lesneski throws it in.
Well, she wiggled it a little bit there. She was not going to give him the inside. She made him go the hard way.
So Fowler stays first, Layton in second. Lesneski now takes over in third. 5 to go. Mr. Lesneski from 9th, and take a look here. Here's that 43 car. This is Paul Shaver, and he started out in 15th position. Paul Shaver in the 43 now finds himself fighting a little further back. He's got Schott Howard in there in the 01. Nimenen's in there. Caldwell with him. Fowler pulling away. 15 car lengths.
Yeah, he likes that 10 or 15 car lengths he has in his rearview mirror. That's a lot of security when it's winding down just a few laps to go. If the 74 could just get up there and get within a car length, it could change his attitude.
Here comes the 97 after Minter on the outside, and the 30 is in there too. Scott Kilby. This is all for position, fighting for 4th now. And the 30, Scott Kilby, gets Ward and comes after Minter in the 61. 63 laps down into the final 4.
Sherry's car may be getting a little loose on her or something because she gave up third position, and now she's got two more wanting to take a spot away from her.
Take a look at this, Chuck. Here's that 74 car closing down on number 4. You saw Mrs. Fowler looking on as Wally's trying to hold on to it here. And Layton really closed it down. Again, Fowler pops out and gets himself another few car lengths advantage. But he's not able to sustain it.
You just never know. Like you say, it's not over till it's over. I'm sure they're both giving it everything they can. This is for the win.
How are those tires holding up on these cars? They're a hard compound, but what are they like after they've gone 100 miles out here, 67 laps? Then take a look at the 30 car, Kilby, pulling up on Minter. Number 30, Kilby, with 2 laps to go, is there.
We've got a race for 4th position, don't we?
Yep.
The hard tires, sometimes if they're really hard, they'll feel better after 30 laps of consecutive racing than they will when they're new and fresh and cold. So sometimes the longer you run on them, the better they feel.
Leader continues to be Fowler, getting ready to take a white flag this time by. And he pops out and gets himself about 20 car lengths now in that last corner. Oh, we got a car spinning out of 4. Got one loose that spins down pit road. Track stays clear. Guy spins all the way down pit road, comes to a halt, and David Owens out of Rock Hill, South Carolina. I don't think he even brought out a caution.
They've got the white and yellow waving.
A lot of smoke out across the track. Ooh, look at 61 and 30 racing back to the line. I believe that is the case here. They do race back to the line. Oh, no. My gosh. Up on the outside, the 4, Fowler, comes across.
The 4 raced back to the line. I don't know if the rest of the field did or not.
74 is there.
30 raced back to the line.
Yep. 61 backed up a little.
I'm not sure how they'll score this.
Well, for sure, Fowler took it home. Looks like Layton got himself 2nd place. Checkers in yellow. The 88 car spun down pit road. David Owens on the last lap. The leaders were getting into 1 and 2, and it put out a plume of smoke across the 4th corner. We'll take a break and come back and sort this one out on the end of the Winston Select 100. Another sportsman race in the grand tradition of sportsman racing at Charlotte. That we know, there were 14 cars in the lead lap. Wally Fowler's number 4 came across the line first, and he's headed for victory lane at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Take another look at how they came to the line here at the finish of this 67-lap, 100-mile contest.
Coming out of turn 4, we've got one spin in there. That's what brought up the final caution. But he did a good thing there. He locks that thing down. He knows he's in trouble. He just locks those brakes down, doesn't release them, lets it come clear to a stop. Fortunately, he didn't hit anything. But had about this time, had he released those brakes thinking he had control, I assure you he'd have found that pit wall somewhere or another.
David Owens. So it left all that smoke across the track, and some people lifted and some did not. We'll give you the story of which ones did and which ones didn't in just a moment after you meet the winner. Let's go to victory lane.
Wally Fowler got a big smile on his face, puts his hat on, takes his earplugs out. A great job. You've had a couple of wins taken away, but tonight you're going back to victory lane.
Well, let's just hope this will stick. It feels awful good to win here at Charlotte. I'd like to thank my sponsors, Flounder, Knight Electric, Tony's Restaurant, Stock Car Fabricators Down Under. The car run real good tonight. The track was fast. The new paving job was good. The Goodyear Eagles, they were super. The crew done a real good job. I couldn't ask for nothing no better.
I have to ask you if you're confident that your engine will hold up through tech inspection.
I'm pretty confident. That's what they called wrong last time. We put a new set on. Before we put them on, though, we sent them to NASCAR, and they inspected them, said they was good. So I hope we're okay.
What can this do as far as you go in a career move? I mean, you win here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's got to be a big boost for you.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so.
It's a delighted crew down here for Wally Fowler's first win at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Dick Bergeron?
Well, Sherry Minter had a great run tonight, but they seem to be all over you. Every place you tried to go, there were a pile of cars around you. How tough a race was this for you?
Quite a tough race. Lester up here in front of me in the 98 car, he made it real hard there for a few laps. We developed a push coming off of turn 4 after that last caution, so it wasn't anything I could do. I didn't want to cross-arm it through the turn, so we had to back up just a little, but we're happy.
And the first person here to congratulate you was?
My crew chief and husband.
And right after that, it was Lester Lesneski, the car that she was fighting with toward the end of the race.
So Sherry Minter winds up in 5th when it was all over. As to how the top 10 look, we'll tell you that right after we pause for these messages. Here's the trophy holder, Wally Fowler, victorious at the Charlotte Motor Speedway over Gary Layton in 2nd and Scott Kilby in 3rd tonight, with Lester Lesneski getting credit for 4th, Sherry Minter for 5th, and Marty Ward for 6th. We can look a little further back, as you see Tom Gate and Jerry Rector, one of the David Smiths, Andy Thurman. And as we look back further into the field, there you see that Casera had a very good finish tonight. Back in 13th. We can go back to 18th, Chuck. And then it's a matter of conjecture. Now, that's a word for they're having a real big argument about who came across from 18th back. Here's Dick Bergeron.
Well, no doubt about who was second. It was Gary Layton, Ken. And you charged all night long. How much experience have you got at this to be driving like this?
This is my 4th race in this division, and really my first year of late model stock racing. I've had a lot of good help from different people, and you know, not much experience, but we got a good car. Handling sort of went away toward the end there. I was getting a little bit loose when I get up behind Wally, but to make the car turn loose coming off the corners. But we still had a good run, and just thankful to be here.
Where'd you learn to drive a car like that with only 4 races in this division?
I don't know. I just got a size 14 shoe, and I just put it down to the floor, I guess. I'd like to thank my sponsors, Greystone Farms, Carolina Culture Marble, and Carson Trailers. We appreciate all their help.
Gary Layton with a great run tonight. Randy Pemberton.
Scott Kilby finished 3rd. Good run for you.
Yeah, it was a good run for us. You know, every time we get down here to run these races, it seems like we get inside the top 5 and something breaks or we hit the wall or something. So we're tickled to bring this Rocky Mountain Forest Products, Art and Herman Winnes, home in 3rd place. You know, I tell you what, that caution on that last lap, you know, they killed me pretty bad on restart. Got behind, but it pays to have the best spotter in the world. That fellow standing on top of that building told me, he said, the racetrack's clear. Went down the backstretch and asked him one more time. I said, is the racetrack clear? He said, the racetrack's clear, but there's smoke. So I just kept on going, and I'd like to thank the Lord for a safe race. I hope nobody got hurt today, and give us a beautiful night to race on.
Okay, spotter did a good job for you, but Scott Kilby did a great job in the car. Ken Squire?
Sure did. Right call by that spotter. Put Scott Kilby 3rd when it was over, in front of Lester Lesneski, Sherry Minter in 4th and 5th. More from Charlotte after this. Charlotte Motor Speedway, we were telling you the front 18 were all decided right now from 15th back. It's a matter of opinion as to who finished exactly where. What was your opinion of this Winston Select 100 tonight, Chuck Bound?
Well, I thought it was a really clean race for the division, Ken. I don't even know if they really scared me tonight or not. You know, the few little incidents they had come off pretty smooth and no serious hard hits, and must feel good for the winner after being disqualified to finally sit on the pole and win here at Charlotte.
Yeah, 2 cautions for a period of 13 laps. They swapped the lead a few times out there, and when it was all over, Wally Fowler had himself a win, and Layton came home 2nd with the Scott Kilby in 3rd and Lester Lesneski in 4th. We'd like to pass along. There was one person here tonight that we always like to see around these races because he built so many great cars. Robert G., we understand, has suffered a serious stroke this day, and we hope he's on the mend. His cars have won many, many times at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. For Chuck Bound and Randy Pemberton and the good doctor himself, Dick Bergeron, I'm Ken Squire. That's the story tonight here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway of the Winston Select 100. Hope you've enjoyed it.